there's a war going on.
All around us.
No, I ain't talking about Iran. There's a war going on right above us. The Pentagon has released information saying that the Anunnaki has returned.
Why is it coming out in the news that the U.S. Forest Service is actively hiding portals in the forest? I'll add more validity to his claim in just 1 minute.
All right, folks, let me tell you what I think is fixing to happen. First of all, we got Obama talking about aliens. Now Trump says he's going to release the UFO and aliens files, right? Now we're headed into Iran to go to war, and everybody says that Iran has nuclear weapons, right? If you remember Roswell, which equals 32, which is 5, Roswell, New Mexico, it was 23 months, which is 5, between the time we popped off a nuclear bomb and the aliens showed up, right?
Welcome back to another reaction on the Wizard's Fish. If you're new here, thank you for joining. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so we can help get these videos pushed out to as many people as possible. Everything you see in here will be for entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is strongly advised, and let's not waste any more time, get straight into it.
One can explain to me why somebody would come in a beauty parlor with chicken blood in their hair. You heard what I just said? A girl walked into a beauty parlor with chicken blood in her hair, and she wanted the beautician to wash it. But that's not even the crazy part. Allegedly, they're saying that after this beautician washed this girl's hair, the next day, her daughter passed away. I'm not making this shit up. Look at this shit.
I need you to wash the chicken blood.
Why though?
Why do you have chicken blood in your hair?
Same question I asked.
Stop.
Listen to what the guy says. If you hear the person in the back, they said something about voodoo. You see, y'all like to play with the spiritual world, and the spiritual world is not playing. Apparently, those girls did a ritual, and the end of that ritual needed somebody to wash that chicken blood out of that girl's hair. Listen, a lot of people hear about witchcraft and say, oh, witchcraft not real. Destiny swapping is not real. And then you have a situation like this. This girl came to that beautician with chicken blood in her head. Next day, the beautician's child passes away. 1 + 1 makes 2. You got to understand, there's a lot of evil people here. I see people saying, she wouldn't have did anything like that. Why would she go in there with chicken blood in her hair so something can happen to somebody else? You really don't know the world you live in. Y'all better pay attention. Go down a rabbit hole. Look at witchcraft. See what these people do. Yeah, all right.
That's the problem today, is that people are willing to like screw their own family members and friends over for, you know, like $50 if they get the opportunity. So like people they don't know, like they care even less about, because they're not going to be around to see the aftermath of what they've caused. So yeah, man, there's a lot of selfish people in the world these days, and it's really sad.
There's a theory that the world already ended, and it actually happens every Tuesday at 4:12 a.m.
Apparently, the world ends weekly at on Tuesdays about 4:12 a.m. So
okay.
And the creepy part, millions of people swear they felt it. It's called the Tuesday reset theory, and once you hear this, you'll start noticing it too. Every Tuesday morning at exactly 4:12 a.m., reality shuts down. Everything, time, consciousness, even physical laws, rewind just enough to keep the simulation stable. You don't feel it because you're not supposed to, but some people wake up early enough to catch the glitch. Like the guy who said he woke up at 4:10 and watched the moon jump a few inches to the left.
Oh my God.
Instantly. Or the woman who said her entire house made a low humming sound right before everything went silent. Like someone hit the mute button on the...
Everyone knows Sandra's correct.
Birds go quiet, clocks freeze for exactly 1 second, and the air feels thick, like it's holding its breath. The stranger. Global data spikes on Tuesday mornings. Servers reboot, security cameras glitch, GPS systems drift by a few feet. Nobody has an explanation, but it always happens around 4. So pretty much the world ends every Tuesday, but the simulation reloads us into the closest stable version of reality.
Oh.
That's why things fell off lately. That's why people remember different details. That's why nothing feels the same as it did a few years ago. Because technically, we're not in the same world we started in.
The key is, you will pick numbers. You will shift to a reality where those are the winning numbers.
Basically what he's saying you focus, believe that you're going to get the winning numbers, and somehow your focus.
So what happens to your doppelganger in the world that you end up shifting yourself to with the winning numbers? They weren't. So it had to be a world in which your doppelganger in another world wasn't envisioning their numbers being the right numbers, or did they envision their numbers being the right numbers at the exact same time as you do in your world, so you guys just do a shift from one world to the other and you swap?
Okay, that 4:12 a.m. thing is kind of nuts, and just with my schedule lately, I'm usually awake at that time, so I'm definitely gonna have to pay attention to that. Anybody experience any of that stuff by chance? Just curious, because that's the first I've heard of that, but I definitely got to pay attention to it now.
Okay, what if I told you that the New York Post just published something that is sending mainstream historians and archaeologists for a complete loop? They are literally fuming right now because they just talked about the existence of ancient giants. That's right, actual, real, gigantic people. Now, the article comes out with resurfaced 3,300, actually, that's interesting, 3,300-year-old Egyptian document hints at biblical giants being real. I find it interesting that they say they hint at it, because last I checked, in ancient Egypt, you can see depictions like this. And you may be thinking, is this like perspective? Like this guy's up close, that guy's way far away, hundreds of feet away, so he looks smaller. But then what would you say to this one? Because that's a cow, and that's a guy taller than 4 cows. And then the real kicker, again, carved in stone, ancient Egypt, that's a foot. Now this of course is AI, but we're talking that kind of height. If not bigger, if you do some equation here, how tall would you be if your foot's that big compared to that normal-sized human? So why would they hide giants from us? Is it?
And I'm sure the official story is probably like, oh, that's just to symbolize royalty. That's why they're so big, or great importance, or some crap like that.
Because it would contravene the official narrative of how our Earth came to be and what happened in the last couple thousand years. Also, notice it doesn't say several 100,000 or 1 billion years ago, because, well, how old is the Earth really?
Something is just not right, and something is just not normal about all of this. And why do I say that? Because for the second time in just weeks, an elected official has come out, but this time stating that we have aliens living underwater. You heard what I just said, aliens living underwater. In a statement released by Congressman Tim Burchett, he says aliens could be stationed in 5 or 6 underwater bases off the U.S. coast. And he's also claiming that the U.S. Navy Admiral has already witnessed this. And once again, this is allegedly not a rumor. This came straight out of Congress. And this is the same congressman, if you recall, that has been claiming for years that the U.S. has been covering up aliens and UFOs. His claims are that since the 1940s, the U.S. has been hiding stuff from us. And part of his claims, that spacecrafts do exist. He's also claimed that technology can be reversed engineered. And now, his claim is that extraterrestrials, aka aliens, allegedly could have stations underwater. And don't forget, this all comes on the heels of Anna Paulina Luna's statements last week, where she claimed that extraterrestrials do exist and she's seen proof, and it's enough to say that it's not a conspiracy. So I guess my question to you is, why was this information being kept from us for so long? And why all of a sudden is it coming out right now in the year 2026? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
When we get to the top, there's so many people who are not human. What you're seeing right now with Trump is clones. That is not him. We've talked about this before, but some of the people around him, so say he's in an interview and then he kind of deflects and lets people answer questions for him. These are also the handlers of the clone. And some of these people are also not human.
Well, Biden's clone was exposed in the files.
I know.
He died in 2019.
Yeah, he's been gone a long time. Bill and Hillary, how Congress is pulling them in for the Epstein, they've been gone a long time too. So they are now interacting with clones of Hillary and Bill.
That makes sense because they barely do any public appearances anymore. They used to do a lot.
Yes, they've been gone for a long time, along with many other people. When we
Dog, check this shit out. Look at this shit. Motherfucker said hello, right? Like a human with a light bulb face. And then that motherfucker turned into a dog. Barking and all that shit. Right on this woman's ring camera. Yeah, fuck that. Now it's back up. Standing like a motherfucking human. Now it's back like a dog again. And it's barking. Now it's just walking like a human again. And now it's back like a dog. No. You can keep that motherfucking Skinwalker where you found that motherfucker. Woman caught that shit on her motherfucking ring camera. A whole motherfucking man dog with a light bulb face. Not AI either. Because I know you motherfuckers like to say everything AI now. And not in this case, dog. That was real deal shit. Nah. If it was me, I would have been went in the motherfucking house soon as it was nighttime like that. And I hear motherfuckers say hello with a motherfucking light bulb face. I'm gone. I'm gone like a motherfucker. But she stood there. She brave as a motherfucker. Or just unintelligent. My motherfucking ass wouldn't have been watching shit. You got a camera. Motherfuckers need to start keeping their ass in the house. That's the only place you belong when you see some shit like that. Get in your house and get strapped. Because you don't know what the fuck that is.
And pray.
Have you heard of the still water of the ocean? So this is an area called the shadow zone, which is already pretty ominous. But water here doesn't move almost at all, and it's been trapped there for over 1,000 years. It's so isolated that it literally contains pieces of carbon dioxide that's broken down that existed during the Roman Empire. It's only in a specific place about 1.5 miles deep in the North Pacific Ocean, and sunlight does not reach here at all. So it's in perpetual darkness. There's almost no oxygen in this water, and what's really weird about this place is sound almost doesn't travel at all. It's completely silent, and so submarines figured this out after World War I and started traveling through these areas to avoid detection. The reason why this water stays in this shadow zone area is because it is sandwiched between the dense, ultra deep, slow moving abysmal water below and the warmer, shallow currents above, while also being isolated from the circular movement of the ocean that is usually everywhere else. And anyways, it's a really weird place. Watch out for still water and still air. And yeah, anyways, see you in the next one. Bye.
Why is it coming out in the news that the U.S. Forest Service is actively hiding portals in the forest? I'll add more validity to his claim in just 1 minute.
I believe it.
Before I let you hear this, why is it there's so many places that we just cannot go? And these places seem to have some weird phenomenon happening in the sky and around it and disappearances.
But just one thing I want to throw out here, and I want to cause a bit of mischief with the US government. I've just been somewhere in the United States where I know there is another portal. And I know the United States knows about it. And I was there just the other day. And guess what? It's got a big fence around it. Lots of security signs. It's supposedly US Forest Service.
Pretty odd, right? Hey, do you remember when this guy was making portals in his bed, going through them, and they ended up on YouTube, and the guy went actually missing and never found? That's well. Hey, one time I was at a national park with my brother and my now wife, and we were sitting outside of the woods, and we saw this orb coming up out of the woods. And as it floated higher and higher, it was dropping orbs, super big orbs, out of under it. And then this orb started going right towards us, and when it went over the top of the car, it turned into a triangle for a split second, then was gone.
You must have been under the influence.
Yeah, so about that, we all saw it at the same exact time. And I remember before going into the woods saying, something does not feel right. I'm not alone. There's a lot of people who have seen these really sketchy occurrences in the woods. You too? Tell me about it.
I know with a lot of the things that I've seen and said to people, because I used to party pretty hard back in the day, but stopped that like 10 years ago. But yeah, it's still a common thing that gets brought up a lot. Just easy way to dismiss things, I guess.
You've seen the telekinesis videos, right? Well, explain this one.
Looks legit.
I have seen a lot of these, and I have never once questioned whether it was fake or not. Of course they're fake. But this one has me questioning it. I'm like, wait, okay, how do you fake that? What do you guys think?
Probably you saw the video of that damn Elmo balloon. The one that moved on its own, climbed the stairs, and seemed to chase people inside the house. I saw it the same way at first, without context. It looked creepy, but I didn't think much of it, until I started digging deeper. And the more I investigated, the more it felt like the balloon wasn't the real problem. Something was wrong with that house. If you haven't seen the video yet, don't worry. I'll give you the full context now, because that's what I'm here for. Everything started with a clip that went insanely viral. In the video, you can see a giant Elmo balloon coming up the stairs. The dogs in the background are losing their minds. And the most terrifying detail is that it looks like the balloon is using its feet, like it's actually climbing. That alone was enough to scare people. At first, many said it was just airflow. In houses in the US and Canada, heating and air systems run through the basement. And that's exactly where everything started, the basement. Before the balloon video, the family had already uploaded a clip saying, "Call us crazy, but we think there's a ghost in our basement." After that, more videos appeared. The balloon kept moving around the house, but always near the basement door, even when no one was walking, even when there was no visible airflow. What made people uneasy was that the balloon didn't move randomly. It seemed drawn to the basement, and sometimes it even turned to face people, as if watching them. Then things escalated. For the first time, the balloon climbed the stairs. At night, in the dark, other clips showed the balloon slowly circling their child while he was playing. The moment the child noticed it moving, it would stop and drift away. Pets reacted too. Dogs barking, a kitten suddenly meowing, and strange knocking sounds, moving from wall to wall. One of the scariest videos shows something on the ceiling. At first, people thought it was just a lamp, but lamps don't have eyes. Later, they tried an experiment. They tapped on the floor upstairs while filming the basement ceiling below. The tapping answered back. And in another clip, while the woman crouches on the floor testing sounds, the Elmo balloon stands behind her, perfectly still, facing her, like it was watching. The last update came months later, around the end of 2025. They said the Elmo balloon was no longer in the house. And since then, nothing strange has happened. After that, silence. No more videos. So what was this? A long horror series? Or did everything stop the moment the balloon was gone? Internet cases like this always leave doubts. No one was there to verify it in person. But now you know the full story. What do you think really happened in that house? Follow so you don't lose the channel, if you're not afraid to get scared at night. See.
¿Qué onda, plebes? Aquí andamos en la ciudad que está escondida atrás de la Antártida, año 2500. Miren nomás, puro edificio brillante y naves volando arriba. Chequen esos carros flotando aquí en la calle, parece película, pero es real. Me voy a subir a uno de estos para que miren cómo jala. Y ahí va, compas, ya despegó, estamos volando. ¿Qué onda?
Yes, there is a portal in the United States. In fact, I suspect there are multiple. But this particular portal is in a highly guarded facility that is used under the US Forest Service cover. There are men with guns who patrol it, and there are witnesses who have seen what are clearly people operating with the knowledge of the US military in civilian clothes, walking into literally a wall. These witnesses are terrified. They're not about to stick their heads up on TV, but they are happy to talk to people like me. I've spoken to people who have told me about the existence of this portal. I've been to the location. I am aware that it was the subject of extensive study by a team that was operating in the area for some considerable period of time. I'm told that there is technology that is being used to try to deaden the efficacy of the portal to stop things coming out or going through. I know it all sounds like something out of science fiction, but believe me, the United States knows a hell of a lot more about portals and interdimensional technologies than it cares to admit. And at some stage, they're going to have to tell the public the truth. Otherwise, it's all going to come rolling out in an absolutely catastrophic way. What more can I say? The portal or portals that I'm aware of, but believe me, it's an extremely sensitive, highly guarded, secret military facility. Don't try and access there. If you're speculating about where it is, you'll get killed. There is a determination by the sections of the national security state that are aware of all of this to keep it quiet, to hide it from you, the general public. I have no idea why they think they can continue to maintain such a degree of secrecy. It's going to blow up in their face. But I'm very sorry I can't tell you any more right now. I'm certainly causing mischief.
Just think about like the people who have been going to Epstein Island after everything has like stopped and quieted down there, and they're seeing the repercussions of their actions now being followed, and they think their phones are tapped and all this stuff, blah blah blah. So like, yeah, with a portal that's active still, and especially that would be, I guess you could say, like a technology that they wouldn't want the masses to know about. So yeah, it's going to be heavily guarded, and the witnesses to that have every right to like be terrified of saying anything, especially on camera, because it seems that anybody who comes out to expose anything that they don't want exposed ends up having an accident.
What in the world is that? People all over Iran right now and all over Twitter are completely freaking out about what this might be. And we also have these weird things showing up everywhere, but we'll get to that in a minute. Which happens to be the same exact color of that thing that we just saw in Tehran. I'm gonna slow it down in just 1 minute. Some people are speculating it might be a new weapon being tested on Tehran. Or is this something else? Because in Canada, I don't know if you know, this is sped down by the way, in Canada, they're having like a complete UFO invasion over there. There's pictures from, these are all different angles of the same thing they saw in the sky, by the way. There are these UFO invasions happening everywhere in Canada, and so many people are getting videos of it. Sorry the video is so small, but apparently everyone in the comments are posting their own videos. These things are just everywhere right now. Did you know that these weird orbs, these UFOs, are showing up at the battle site everywhere? In Israel, in Iran, I mean just everywhere. So it really makes you think what we just saw at the beginning of the video. What really was that? Let me know what you think below.
This device exposed a $1 trillion industry, and this is a copper harmonizer, and they would actually use this in the 1800s to structure their water, and they would even place them around their house because they realized that copper emits healing frequencies which can then positively interact with a human's biofield. But they also knew that the shape of this copper harmonizer actually held a specific frequency, meaning that when this harmonizer is placed in water, water, the water will actually take on the structure of the harmonizer, creating some of the most structured water one can drink. And they also knew that by placing these around their house, the harmonizer would actually harmonize or instantaneously heal any individual through the extremely high frequency that this harmonizing device emits. And if you place this device in water, it's not only structuring the water, but the copper itself is purifying the water and also creating electrically charged water. So if any individual was to then drink this water, it would instantaneously heal that individual.
I want one.
Does this prove all animals speak the same language?
I'll tell you a little secret. I take a dolphin and I slow it down. It sounds like a monkey. If I take a chimpanzee and I speed it up, it sounds like a mouse.
Yeah, it does.
If I take a mouse and slow it down, it sounds like a seagull. If I take a seagull and slow the seagull down, it sounds like a gorilla or a whale.
That's amazing.
If I take a whale and we speed the whale up, it sounds like birds.
Stay weird, y'all.
There's an 1893 Firmament map you can type in. It's on the Library of Congress. So it's on a government website, like it's straight up right on the government website, and it's called the Firmament map. And you can just look that one up. It says 1893. You just type it in. It's not even hidden from the people. So, you know, when they're trying to talk about where they're going and we're going to Mars and, you know, going to space, they're not going anywhere. And a perfect example of this, the India moon landing. The India moon landing looks like an Atari graphics moon landing. You see like this little pixelated thing go beep, 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 and it lands on allegedly the moon, and the Indians are they're just clapping away. They've done it. It's crazy that you can make people believe that, right? Like if somebody believes that, they watched Atari graphics and they thought they went to the moon. Oh goodness. Imagine what else you can make them believe. You know, you can make them believe, take a whole bunch of and put them in their body. You could also make them believe that they need to wear 64 masks. Like something like that.
They've been telling us since 1999, guys, when the mummy first came out. Shh. It's not a game. Pay attention. Wow. What? No way. Wow. You see what's going on here? Since 1999, they've been trying to show us this. Don't say it. What did that mummy mean when it said the language of the slaves? Why, when he showed that certain thing, he automatically said he could use him for something? I mean, you know what time is it. Shh! Shut up! They've been showing us since 1999 when this movie came out, and we thought it was just a movie. Now we're starting to see that it had a deeper meaning. He showed him that, and then he said he could use him, and then he offered him something. Does it sound familiar? Come on, guys, you know what it is. Do I have to really tell you? Shh! Shut up! I mean, they already told you. If you was paying attention. That's why, as you get older, you gotta go back and watch these movies because you start to see things you didn't see when you was younger. Which is absolutely nothing because this video is for entertainment purposes only, and this is one of my favorite movies. The Mummy. Classic. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think about this. What did he mean? Why, when he showed that, he was ready to work with him? Let me know. I'm out.
It seems like the 5G towers are kind of like synthetic ether, because I was noticing that they have repeaters freaking everywhere. There's no way that you would ever need like a repeater for a 5G tower every other block in a city. I noticed that it makes the freaking flower of light, dude. The way that the CIA and Verizon and everyone has it set up. So it's literally like they're replacing the ether with synthetic ether, which is 5G. And I bet that lets them do weird stuff to our bodies, right? What do you think, bud?
Probably.
5G isn't just not about improving communication, controlling
As 5G, the synthetic flower of life grid, leaders are placed in a flower of life pattern as intentional mimicry of the old world's. In the Tartarian days, the flower of life wasn't just a symbol.
Bro, this
it
makes
was
so
a
much
map
sense.
of resonators, cathedrals, and power nodes to distribute free energy and consciencing frequencies. Now, they're using the same pattern, amplifying life force, hijacking it. G really does to the body, not just radiation, it's frequency manipulation. Your body, your mind, even your emotions pick bioelectrical frequencies. 5G interferes with that tuning, keeping people locked in low vibrational states. It affects your nervous system, your blood, your DNA. The same way the right frequency can heal you, the wrong one can weaken you. Makes you more programmable. Why do you think brain fog, anxiety, and sleep disruption are at all-time highs? Because people are literally being hit with an artificial non-stop frequency that scrambles their natural rhythm. Why they need 5G towers everywhere. Real etheric energy doesn't need repeaters. You set up true resonant architecture, like cathedrals and pyramids. Energy flows naturally across vast distances. 5G, being a synthetic system, constantly loses power. That's why they need so many towers. They're forcing an unnatural signal to cover everything, boxing us in with frequency. The more towers there are, the harder it is to escape the artificial signal field. So what can we do? Retune yourself with real frequencies. Baths, Schumann resonance, binaural beats, anything that counteracts the synthetic square. Once you know the game, it's harder for them to manipulate you. In places where the real ether still flows, old world architecture, nature, anywhere they haven't blanketed with their synthetic grid.
I'm wondering if that's maybe why I don't like going to the city so much. Like, I live like hours away from any city, kind of in the middle of nowhere. So there's very minimal 5G here. And I'm wondering if maybe that's why when I go to the city, as soon as I start getting close, I start getting like anxiety and I don't want to be there. Kind of makes a bit of sense.
Say my name.
You're Heisenberg.
Goddamn right.
I know I am. Just like I know you're Presidente Grant and Phil Hartman, too.
Yeah, see, Presidente Grant, very important man. Hey.
But I've already done a video on how Presidente Grant, aka Ulysses S. Grant, is Walter White, aka Bryan Cranston, aka Phil Hartman, down to the exact same little moles on their face. And not just one of them, but two. 1 and 2. And over there, he has 1 and 2 as well. Here's a better shot for you. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. But this video is not about him. No, it's about Heisenberg. Do you ever wonder where the name Heisenberg came from in the show Breaking Bad? There's Werner Heisenberg, a theoretical physicist. And well, thanks to a subscriber, Nick, we couldn't help but notice something. A few short years after Heisenberg died, one Aaron Paul came on the scene, aka Jesse Pinkman. Because they love to tell us the truth right in plain sight, and even their forehead lines match up, and their mouths and their hairline, but it's not about the symmetry anymore. It's really not. It's about the marks, because they always leave their marks, because like a shape-shifting octopus that can look like a rock and a snake and an octopus, it can't hide its scars. It can't shape-shift its scars away, just like shape-shifting fallen angels can't. But one scar could be a coincidence, if it was just one, but I noticed this big old blemish, or right here, and that one, right? You see those two? Almost looks kind of like in the exact same spot is that one. There's one right there, and that one, there's one right there. Do you see how they're lined up in the same spot exactly? They can't shapeshift their scars away, my friend. And do you know why they're here? Because they took human wives, and the Most High didn't like that, so they stuck them down here. Oh, and don't forget this one on his lip too. But they're stuck here. And here's old theoretical, because it's all a bunch of theories that they lie to you about. Theoretical Heisenberg's wife. Here it is. That's the best picture I could find when she's young. And here she is. And here's Aaron Paul, aka Jesse Pinkman, in the show with Heisenberg. Oh, and here's Jesse Pinkman's wife. Would you imagine that? Do you see those lips? I mean, it's all in the lips and the eyes for me on this one. All in the lips. But of course, this is all for entertainment purposes. I don't really think they're a bunch of banished fallen angels running around in Earth here because they took human lives against the Most High's wishes, and now they're stuck.
Is Hollywood conditioning us for what's to come? Should we start paying very close attention to every single detail? And why do I say that? Because I just got done watching the Steven Spielberg Disclosure Day trailer. And let me tell you, it's going to open a lot of eyes. If you haven't seen it, take a look at this.
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look at today. Today is today's.
This is crazy. They're communicating through her. Look at this. Is the timing of this trailer just coincidental to Three Eye Atlas's arrival on December 19th? Are they trying to get you in a comfort position where you can absorb something if it was to happen because you've seen it in a trailer or even in a movie? And other examples, you've heard the alleged allegations from the Pentagon regarding the return of the Anunnaki. Also, all of the drones that were seen all over the East Coast and across the United States. Is this something that we should be preparing for? Is this a message? Take a look at some more of the trailer. Listen.
People have a right to know the truth. It belongs to 7 billion people.
What is it?
You won't believe me if I told you. So I'm going to show you.
What are they talking about?
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world. All at once.
So what are your thoughts on this? Will you go see it? Do you think it's conditioning for us to be prepared or to accept what is the inevitable or what could be coming? Is it UFOs? Is it aliens? What do you think it is? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
What do you guys think? In my opinion, I don't think they make movies for entertainment. I think it's all predictive programming in order to condition people. Because there's always like a theme to movies. Like for maybe like a year or two, it's all like say like demon movies or ghost movies, and then for a while it's all like witches and stuff, or you know what I mean? Like there's always like a certain kind of theme that they're always pushing around certain times, and it's all conditioning. Like it ever since well, I know in the States in 2012, 2013ish, somewhere around there, when Obama was in office, he repealed the Smith-Mundt Act, which allows the government to use propaganda on its own citizens. And like even before I was really into all this stuff, I wondered like how do people not have a problem with that? Like that's really weird. But I guess everybody thinks that they're smart and I'll be able to tell when propaganda is being used against me. But that's not always the case. Like these people have very highly intelligent people figuring out ways to get this information to you and making it stick. And like even with the news and stuff too, they did it in 2020 with the C word thing there that lasted for a couple of years. I saw videos of like unalived people like that they had outside of hospitals all covered with tarps and stuff. And then when the mainstream cameras turn off, people caught the people getting up from underneath those tarps because they were still alive. And I don't know, just too much shady stuff. Like they're the crisis actors, and I don't know, they keep getting caught. But unfortunately, because they're in control of the media, it's easier for them to promote their lies than it is for anybody else to try and silence them. And for the few people who do get a hold of the media and are able to say something, they always have an accident, or they unalive themselves for some reason, even though that's not typically the case, but they make it look that way.
freaking out a little bit right now. This is an 1808 Bible. I'm looking through the notes, and if you've been on my channel for a while, you probably have seen my very first viral video was about how I believe that 369 connects to creation and the Bible and like Nikola Tesla's free energy and stuff. I finally found the file, so I'm going to show you afterwards, but I have to show you this. I cannot believe it. The book of Genesis endeth in the death of Joseph, containing the history of 2,369 years. And it's blowing my mind because I just keep finding things that are like 369 related the further I go back. It's in like everything. So like the first watch is the 3rd hour of the night. The second watch is the 3rd to the 6th. The third watch is the 6th to the 9th. And then this has the old calendar set up where March is the first month. And Jesus was born in March on the spring equinox is my belief. I did a couple videos on that. So the 3rd month, and then I'm not too sure how the 6th month fits in as of right now. But then we know the 9th month is the Feast of Trumpets month, September. And then the year also ends with March, the first and the last. Jesus is the Alpha and the Omega. Therefore, I conclude that there are 33,269 feet entire and 0.76 decimals of a square foot in an aurora, which is the measurement that they used to measure the base of the tabernacle. 33,269. I never realized, but one of my favorite verses is Psalm 36:9. For with you is the fountain of life, in your light do we see light. I think the firmament, pi, and Nikola Tesla's 369 theory are all connected. This video might blow your mind. So I started looking at pi, and you're basically just measuring a circle. I just stared at this image for a few minutes, and then the Bible verse popped into my head about looking over the circle of the earth. The more I looked at what pi actually is, I found out that you can't really create a dome or an arch in architecture without using pi. So then I started to think, are they measuring the firmament with pi? And then for some reason I kept thinking of Nikola Tesla's 369. So in Kings 7:23 it says, then he made the sea, I think this is the waters above, of cast metal. It was round 10 cubits from brim to brim and 5 cubits high, and a line of 30 cubits measured in circumference. Okay, I'm mind blown. 2 years later, I finally realized, guys, Revelation 4, it describes the northern lights like the throne colors, jasper, carnelian, and the rainbow emerald. Before the throne, there was a sea of glass like crystal. God sits on top of the firmament. Ezekiel says that the firmament is like crystal.
All right, folks, let me tell you what I think is fixing to happen. First of all, we got Obama talking about aliens. Now Trump says he's going to release the UFO and aliens files, right? Now we're headed into Iran to go to war, and everybody says that Iran has nuclear weapons, right? If you remember Roswell, which equals 32, which is 5, Roswell, New Mexico, it was 23 months, which is 5, between the time we popped off a nuclear bomb and the aliens showed up, right? So I think what we're looking at is War of the Worlds, which was written, right, 1835, which is 23, which is 5. What I believe they're going to do is same thing they did with Tartaria, where they zapped it all. They had airships with free energy and direct energy weapons, and they just fucking zapped everything. That is War of the Worlds, right? So they have Starlink, which is 32, from SpaceX, which is 86, 1 plus 4 equals 5, and that's going to be the cloaking system for these military aircraft. They're going to look like alien spacecraft, right? Because it's Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam equals 25. Why? Because 25 is 86. So they are warning us, look at the Olympic symbols, right? It's the Masonic thing, and it's the Masonic thing on the Olympic logos. And so what they're going to do, I believe, is by Agenda 2030, they want to reduce the population to 500 million, right? Just like the Georgia Guidestones said, they're going to zap us all just like they zapped Tartaria. Only this time, they want everybody to believe that it was an alien invasion, right? That's why they're setting it up. They're going to release the UFO files because why? Because the cult of Baal is trapped like rats in a corner. They are fully exposed. And this is what they do when they're exposed. They just obliterate everything. I think they did it to Atlantis. I think they did it to Lemuria. We know they did it to Tartaria because we have the pictures of the airships with the dew weapons on them. We have the melted buildings. And so they've got Starlink. That's going to be the cloaking system for the aircraft that are going to have the dew weapons that they used in Maui, Hawaii. And now they're burning shit up all over the place again. Yep. They're going to melt everything, guys. That's my prediction. So by 2030, which is 5, right, they're going to do a new Roswell. They're going to do this thing with Iran. Iran's going to pop off a nuclear bomb. They're going to say that that attracted the aliens, just like Roswell, right? 23 months after we popped off a nuclear bomb, Roswell, which is 32, the aliens showed up. Yep. And then they're going to zap everything just like Tartaria. So sign, share, and promote the Full Disclosure Act, people, because the problem is this. I see the problem. You've got a cult. This is what the occult does, people. They've done it over and over and over, the Great Reset. So sign, share, and promote the Full Disclosure Act. Peace.
Yeah, I could see that definitely being a possibility. In my own opinion, what I think was going to happen, I've been mentioning to some people, is that they're going to use the aliens to unite the world after they cause like all out chaos. Either that, or they're going to cause chaos and then the aliens are going to come in to try and start peace. But either way, it's all a hoax. I wouldn't believe any of it.
Story time. Ancient Magnetism and Psychic Forces, written by a man named L.H. Anderson in 1895. Look him up real quick. Tell me if you can find any information about L.H. Anderson, the Freemason who wrote The Key to Power in 1895. In Matthew 17:21, we went over the missing verse about healing all disease and sickness. When I was reading this book, I noticed it mentioned, howbeit this kind goeth out not but by prayer and fasting. What is this book written about? Magnetism gives us information about the existence and action of the life of dreams and the power of creation. It is also the best means of breaking the seal which closes the mysteries of antiquity, rich and fancy, whilst it discloses the similarity and depth of man's capacity and shows us an accordance of phenomenon which formerly in magic was attributed to enchantment and to deceit. Kind of funny. The dude that built Coral Castle said the entire world is built out of little tiny magnets. Yeah. All of Parker's electrical equipment is magnets wrapped in wires. Yeah. Julian's machine runs off of magnetrons. Yeah. The atoms within everything are bonded by magnetic bonds. What does it say about magnetism? Magnetism possesses properties which are not only practically useful as regards health and the relations of life, but also in respect to the highest interest of mankind. In human nature lies the germs of power which are occasionally met with in this earthly form, but which so far have never been perfectly developed except in the man of Jesus Christ. The Freemason I can find no history about is talking about Jesus being the perfect example of enlightenment through magnetic principles. We're getting into ancient esoteric Jewish shit. Magnetism gives us information about the existence and action of the life of dreams and the power of creation. By animal magnetism, hold on, what is animal magnetism? It is called animal magnetism because the animal part of a man is the medium, the conducting body of his penetrating magnetism, which distinguishes our animal senses and the higher faculties of man. By these means, we discover in animal magnetism a new medical science, or the art of healing and prevention of disease, not through a substance, but by a power, a movement which, like sound in the air, light in the ether, appears to be endowed with a surpassing mobility. Was that talking about healing all sickness and disease with thought? That's what that sounds like that's talking about. Here's the chapter I'm in now. Secrets of the Egyptian Magi.
Oh, hell nah. They got her, bro. They got her. Who is this, y'all? This is not Oprah, bro.
Wow.
Oprah, bro. Are they paying another actor or actress to play her? Because ain't no way you're gonna tell me this is Oprah. Look at her head. When has Oprah ever got a hairdo like this? But do you see her body, y'all? It's like everything is so unproportionate. What happened to Oprah? What is going on? Bro, that's not Oprah. Who is that, y'all? Y'all not going to sit here and tell me that these two people are the same people. Oh, hell nah, bro. Look at the creases. Look at the creases in the cheeks, bro.
Adrena Rome shortage, maybe? It's not a real thing. Just a made up word, but you know what I mean.
Why does she have these creases and she don't? What happened to this one? Who is this? Are they paying actors to play these celebrities now? Is this what's going on? Why does Oprah look like she's 25 years old in the face, but she moves like she's 85? Look at it, don't make no sense. She looked like a character from Despicable Me or something like that, bro. You're not going to tell me that's the same person, bro. Y'all, the past year, Hollywood has been doing something weird with these quote-unquote celebrities, bro. Something is happening to every single one of them. I know y'all see them changing right in front of your eyes. I be showing y'all this. But even the skin tone is completely different, y'all. I don't know who that is, y'all. Let me know down in the comments below, y'all. The shift is here. I guess the celebrities are part of it, too. Let's continue to get it. Peace out.
Or maybe they're clones and the originals are either taken out or they're down in their bunkers, just getting out of the way a little bit early. What do you think?
Ryan is the famous artist, and we always make fun of each other and portray each other in silly, satirical ways.
Leo, as you know, is the latest, hottest, hunkiest teen idol there is.
Yeah. Is he?
I mean, he tries to kiss me on the lips.
No.
Listen, I'm not gonna...
Oh, act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out. So how you been, man? I've been seeing you so long. How much did we drink?
Two men from that set began sexually abusing me. I thought a lot about that. I thought a lot about how these predators have some sort of sixth sense for vulnerable kids.
How do you even build a child molesting robot?
What you do is you start by building a regular robot, then you molest it and hope that it continues the cycle.
There are non-human beings at war on Earth right now. Watch this.
Peace, love, and light, Chosen. There's a war going on.
All around us.
No, I ain't talking about Iran. There's a war going on right above us. The Pentagon has released information saying that the Anunnaki has returned. Who is the Anunnaki, you ask? Put it in the search bar. Go down the rabbit hole if you don't know.
The ancient
do know who the Anunnaki is, then you know what they're here for. They're looking for the chosen. Are you that chosen one? Am I the chosen one? I don't know. Nobody will know until they find what they're looking for. But the Anunnaki returning to Earth is a big deal. Stay in tune. Stay connected to Source. Meditate. Gaze at the sun. Because something big's about to happen, Chosen. Something real big. Something that you didn't know you was going to see during this lifetime.
Stay weird.
The pyramids aren't tombs. That's not conspiracy. That's what the radar scans show. In 2024, scientists pointed ground-penetrating radar at Giza. They expected to map the base of the pyramids. They found something else. 600 meters below the surface, a chamber, 80 meters wide, 80 meters long, 80 meters tall, bigger than any room ever built by humans. And it's not just under one pyramid, it's under all of them. Same dimensions, same depth, connected. The pyramids you see, that's the tip. Underneath is a structure so massive, so precise, so impossible, that the scientist who found it said one thing: I want to go down there and see it myself. He can't. Nobody can. They won't let anyone in. 4,500 years of history books say the pyramids are tombs. 0 mummies have ever been found inside one. So what are they really? And what's in that chamber 600 meters below?
So the locals were denying that these pyramids existed, but I found them using symbolism and Masonic history. This is how I found them. So when I asked the locals, hey, where are the pyramids? The metro stop here is called pyramids. Where are the pyramids? They pointed to this. And these aren't pyramids at all. These are obelisks, right? But it's okay. It's not their job to know. But I want to show you that I did actually find 2 legitimate pyramids in this area, but they're hidden. Sometimes people ask me, Mateo, how can you find all these clues, these hidden things? It's because I know context, right? So I noticed that this street, Paseo de las Acacias, is leading us to that obelisk thing I just showed you, those 2 obelisks. So this entire street is called Paseo de las Acacias. Why is that significant? The acacia is the type of tree that is used biblically and in rituals, right? The acacia was used to construct the Ark of the Covenant, okay, in Genesis. But it's also used in Masonic rituals. I attended a funeral where a brother Mason died, and they used the acacia tree to show you certain symbols, one of which is the eternal life, because the acacia tree is an evergreen tree. So we're gonna follow this road and see what else we find. You won't believe this. So you follow that street and it leads you directly to this, another obelisk. But what's even cooler are these. Do you have any idea what these are? These are 5 polyhedrons, but not just any polyhedrons. Pythagoras and his clan, the Pythagoreans, were obsessed with these 5 polyhedrons. These are known as the Platonic solids. What's cool about them is that you cannot add another one of these shapes without it perfectly enclosing on each other, right? So every single face of these are identical, and it's not curved, it's perfectly flat, right? And they figured out these are the only shapes in the entire universe that can do this, okay? Before Excel, before math models, before a calculator, before all that, they knew this is it, all right? And I'm gonna keep following what I think it's pointing me to, and I'll show you what else I find. This is crazy. I was just walking down the street right where we came from, and I come across this. I couldn't believe it. So this is what's known as a magic square. I'm gonna pause right here and let me see if you can figure out what's so magic about it. Okay, it doesn't matter if you add it up vertically, horizontally, diagonally, you will get the same magic sum. In this case, 33. It's not just some random number. 33 is a sacred number. 33 vertebrae, the age Christ died. There's a bunch of things related to the 33.
Freemasons.
3 in particular is a sacred number in Masonry. There's the 33 degrees in which you reach the top, right? In theory. So this is giving me more and more confirmations that this is a Masonic place, right? I'm in the right place. This is telling me I shouldn't just hyper-tune my sensibility to symbolism, to just the biblical, to just the historic. I can now finally, rest assured, attune all my sensibilities to the Masonic.
Of mind control is repetition. This just got posted on Twitter, and it's going absolutely viral because people are remembering that, yeah, a couple corporations do own all the media. So you think you're getting this illusion of choice, like, let me put on a different channel. Listen to this.
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain. Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes, but we've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain for American consumers. We may have to deal with that in the short term. Short-term and temporary.
Temporary, short-term pain.
It's going to suck in the short term.
Some short-term pain. Short-term pain. We have to focus on...
And you want to know why repetition is the greatest form of cognitive influence? Because it strengthens neural connections, fosters the illusory truth effect, and reduces cognitive load, making familiar information feel more reliable and credible over time. Didn't you hear George Bush? By the way, that video goes on for like 3 minutes. George Bush said something to the effect of, we got to say it a whole bunch of times so it really sinks in. At the end of the day, all of a sudden, a lot of what everyone believes is just something they heard a lot of times. That's how easily our minds, they are very powerful, but also they have a couple different weaknesses if you're not aware of. You will be manipulated. And then read this. Repetitive behaviors and messages provide a sense of stability and comfort. You're hearing something that doesn't shake you up. It's like, yeah, I've heard this before. It's normal. But I'm sure this is nothing. The news is to make sure you're informed. There's going to be many other scripts around the corner that are going to be deceiving people and brainwashing them. This is part of the plan, you see, to keep us in a lowered state. I think it's the most important time in human history to be of sound mind and sound body.
All right, that's going to be it for this episode. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.